William Cody raced in the wind. When the Pony Express dashed past, it seemed almost like the wind racing over the prairie. Mary Ann Stuckey, a Mormon girl who saw the riders during her journey to Salt Lake in 1860. William Cody, Racing the Wind. Taken from We Were There Too, Young People in U.S. History by Philip Hoos. California to the Mississippi, 1866. If you wanted to deliver a business letter or a newsletter across the West in 1860, the fastest way was to send it by the Pony Express. That's how people in Salt Lake City learned about that Abraham Lincoln had been elected president, and that's how San Franciscans found out that the Civil War had begun. It cost $5 paid in advance to send a letter on the Pony Express. The goal was to advance the mail 250 miles per day. Only business letters were allowed. Riders were hired for strength, stamina, and lightness. Their average age was 18. They were made about $120 a month, a good wage then, and got bonuses for especially quick rides. The riders who brought news of one Civil War battle to Sacramento a day before schedule divided a bonus of $300. The Pony Express was a 2,000-mile-long relay race against time. Investors spaced 190 stations about 10 miles apart between Sacramento, California, and the Mississippi River. Each station had 2 or 3 fast horses ready to go. Every morning, a rider took off from Sacramento with a leather pouch full of letters written on the thinnest paper available and galloped east as fast as he could to the first station, Folsom. There he left off the horse, gulped down some water, grabbed his mail pouch, jumped onto a fresh mount, and thundered off. The switch took about 2 minutes. The same thing happened when a westbound rider started from St. Joseph, Missouri. Riders rode about 8 switches before they rested. They took pride in never slowing down for anything. Storms, Indians, thieves, or even fatigue. They were light and fast. News of Lincoln's election traveled from St. Joseph to Denver, a distance of 665 miles, in 2 days and 21 hours. The text of Lincoln's inaugural address traveled 2,000 miles in 7 days and 17 hours. Many of the riders were teenagers because they were light and adventuresome. Young J.W. Keatley rode the first eastern leg, starting each morning from St. Joseph, Missouri. People got up early and lined the streets just to catch a glimpse of him as he tore out of town. Keatley later wrote, "We bounded out the office door and down the hill at full speed. It was then that all of St. Joe, great and small, were on the sidewalks to see the pony go by. We always rode out of town with silver-mounted trappings, decorating both rider and horse, and regular uniforms with plated horn, pistol, scabbard, and belt, and flower-worked leggings and plated jingling spurs resembling, for all the world, a fantastic circus rider." The most famous rider of all was William F. Cody, later known as Buffalo Bill. He was a boy who grew up in the saddle. After his father died, 11-year-old Bill found a job delivering messages by mule for a Kansas freight company. He was 14 when he heard the Pony Express had started up. He thought the job had been invented for him. At first, the hiring agent at his local station said he was too young, but he finally gave in and let Bill take a test run. Bill won his job by blistering the course between Red Buttes and 3 crossings in nearly record time. He quit after 2 months, but then missed the excitement and tried to get a job back at a station further west. According to Bill, this is how his job interview went. "My boy, you are too young for a Pony Express rider," the hiring agent said. "I rode 2 months last year on Bill Trotter's division," Bill replied coolly. "I filled the bill then, and I think I'm even better now." The agent's eye widened in recognition. "What? You're the boy that was riding there, and that was called the youngest rider on the road? I've heard of you." And so Bill Cody was off again, ringing adventure from every mile. Once the rider expected at 3 crossing stations didn't show up. He'd been shot dead in a saloon the night before. Bill grabbed the man's mail sack and took off in his place. He rode 322 miles by himself from station to station without mishap and arrived on time. even though he spent part of his ride bent flat back in the saddle, dodging robbers' bullets. According to Bill Cody, who was known to stretch a story, that day he set an all-time pony endurance record. The Pony Express lasted only 18 fabulous months. It lost a race to electricity, which could push messages along a telegraph wire even faster than Bill Cody could argue a half-breed California Mustang along a dusty trail. Whatever happened to Bill Cody? He served as a Union scout in the Civil War, then became, among other things, a wrangler, hotel owner, gold panner, rancher, and a meat hunter for the Union Pacific Railroad. In 1 year alone, he boasted of killing 4,280 buffalo. Holy cow. Our school times 4 plus another 280 kids. Man. And 200, so like imagine all the kids at our school is buffalo. In 1883, he started Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, which toured America, and which he, of course, starred. He died in 1917.